So what do you do when you have a Dreamcast, but it's looking just old and nasty and just gross? Well, you turn it into the ultimate Dreamcast. Hey, what's up everyone? Game Dad here, and today starts a new series, and that series is making the ultimate Dreamcast. So in today's video, this is going to be part one. What we are doing is completely disassembling this Dreamcast right here, and we are going to put it into one of these shells. I got a complete crystal clear shell that this thing is going to be swapped into. I'm very excited about that, and we're going to make this thing look super cool and super new. But before we do that, if you are new to the channel or you just haven't yet, please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell. That way you can alert every time I've got a new video coming out. This will be a multi-part series. We are going to be doing the clear shell on this. We are going to be putting the GDEMU mod. It's the latest revision. We're going to be putting that mod into this, and we are going to be turning this into something that I can definitely, absolutely, legally play all of my Dreamcast ROMs on, including like homebrew stuff. So I am definitely very excited about that, and I can't wait to take you all on this journey. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is get everything disassembled and out of this original shell. So first up, we're going to go ahead and pop off the broadband adapter. That's right there on the side. That just comes right out of there. Now, I don't believe that the kit has a clear shell for this. I think it's just kind of the stopper on the side, but I guess we'll see. So we're going to take that out. That gives us access to all of the remaining screws. So we just take our Phillips head and we just start diving in. Now, I don't recall off the top of my head where all of the different screws are in here, if there's multiple different sizes, things like that. So we are going to make sure that we disassemble these and place them in an order that I can get back to them easily. There we go, got that one. I want to make sure they stay relatively in the same order as they are coming out. That way I can just kind of put them back where they go as I put it all back together. And of course I am using my trusty iFixit kit for this. There we go. That one there. And we got it out. Let's get this one. And these, what's nice, it doesn't require a special bit. They are just Phillips. So that's awesome. Now, I don't remember, is there any kind of thing underneath the big sticker? Oop, something right there. Let's see here. I think that is just a circle that is not a screw. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip this over. It has been a while since I took a Dreamcast apart. There we go, lid is off. And there are all kinds of goodies in here. I don't know what all I'm gonna need out of this yet, so I may have to come back to this when I start putting the clear shell together. So I'm just gonna set that to the side for now. But as you can see here, we have the drive assembly. In a later video, when we get inside of this thing, this whole drive assembly is actually going to come out. I believe it's just a couple of cables, you pop it out, and then the system for the GDEMU will go in its place. So we gotta go ahead and get everything in here taken apart. Now, this doesn't have any kind of cage over it. If you were just using this and you unplugged it, I would be extremely cautious and probably just not even go anywhere near this for at least 24 hours, because these will hold a bunch of power in them. And obviously, you don't want to get electrocuted. So this has been off for days now, so I am not worried about it. But we're going to go ahead and get rid of the screws for this. I don't remember how many are on this. I think it's only 2 for the power supply. We're going to find out right now. Go ahead, undo that one, and nope, something else is holding it. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, there's a little clip on the side right there. So we'll go ahead and pop that out. Again, maybe. There it goes. It does not want to disconnect. There we go. So there are some pins right here that we're going up into this little plug, that Molex connector. Alright, so that's out of the way. That is just a little plastic shield. Now, let's see here. We need to go ahead and get the power switch out. So we're going to get that one out of there. And basically all we're doing is just taking every single part out of this, and then we're just going to swap it over into the new clear shell that I got. I was really hoping they had one of the clear purple ones in stock, but unfortunately they did not. So we just went with a crystal clear instead. I'm going to disconnect the front controller ports, and this has I believe it's 4 screws holding it into the frame. We'll undo the outside ones first. Get in there with my gigantic fingers. Let's see here. There we go, got that one. I don't remember if all 4 are holding in or if it is just the outer 2. We're going to find out right now. I think it's all 4. So now we're going to get this one. There we go. And the last one. Hopefully. There we go. All of those are unscrewed. This should pop right out now. There we go. So that's the controller board. We're going to go ahead and undo its little connector right here. There we go. That is the controller ports. So we're just going to set those to the side. I'll keep them near the screws that they went with. Here is this little plastic plate. And yeah, I can't remove this yet because it is still held in place by the rest of the case right here. Alright, so we're just going to continue taking things apart in here. We're going to get rid of the little fan now. And I'm pretty sure there's actually a fan mod that you can do with this. If I can find it before this series is out, I will replace the fan in this. I know that you can do it with a GameCube, where you can get a much quieter but much more powerful fan to put in here. And that just helps with cooling, which obviously that's a nice thing to have. Okay, so now we are going to work on removing all of this stuff, the disc assembly right here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. And I don't remember if I can just disconnect right away. Yeah, the disconnect is actually underneath this plastic piece. So what I'm going to do is undo this metal piece that other plastic piece is attached to. So we're going to go ahead and place these kind of how they go. That way I remember where they go later. And these ones, whenever they go back in, you don't really have to worry about cross-threading as much because this is in metal. If it's in plastic, you always want to do that little backup before you go diving into it. That way you don't cross-thread and ruin the plastic. There we go. So we fully disconnected this drive, and I don't think I actually do need to take this part off because I'm pretty sure when I do the GDEMU mod, that this whole thing just comes out and is replaced because it connects into here. We will find that out in a later video though. So I'm going to go ahead and set the drive just out of my way. And now we need to dive in and get rid of all of the other screws holding this thing down. So we're just going to kind of go around the edges here. And I'm going to start unscrewing stuff. So get that one. I'm going to still place these screws relatively in the same location as I unscrew them. Because again, I don't know if any of these will have a different sizing to them. There's been multiple different size screws so far, but anytime it's a different section, they're all the same. So that's kind of nice. Okay, get all these outer ones. Got 2 more of the black screws right here, and then there's a kind of brass looking screw on the sides right here. There's 2 of them. So we'll undo this one. Sometimes they don't want to release, that's kind of annoying. There we go, we'll get this one now. Yeah, see, that's a little tiny one now. And we'll get this one. And I have a feeling that is not all the screws to remove this, but let's take a look. Let's see what I can do here. So the whole top I/O shield lifts off fine. And hey, look, it's the inside of a Dreamcast. If you've never seen one, you now have. And did I get all the screws? Yes, I did. So we're going to pop out the board. And then I am also going to pop out this shield right here. It's actually a little bit of a thermal pad right there. Wonder what chip that goes to. I bet it goes to that pad right there because that's what it was sitting on. Alright, so there is that board taken out. Here is this, and I don't think I need this at all anymore now. So I'm going to set this to the side. And it doesn't actually look like I really need to clean the board at all either. It's in pretty nice condition. A little bit of dust maybe, but that is about it. I don't know, let's see, what's this right here? Nope, that's just some goop gluing it down. I thought maybe there's a leak capacitor, but it does not look like it. Awesome. Well, that's good news that I don't have to do anything special with that. But now we're gonna open up this box right here. This is I guess the company is called Retro is Cool. Kind of a generic name. It was just an eBay purchase, and I will go ahead and leave links in the description and stuff like that. But we have the Retro is Cool clear shell. So let's get this out of its baggie. Take that out. And like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to need to remove from the top. It looks like I do not need to remove the gear assembly from the top, so that's nice. Okay, give you a nice little Dreamcast sticker there. Go ahead and put that on at the very end. Let me set that out of the way. All right, now, let's see here. Is any of this screwed in? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, so they just give a generic little cover on here. Oh, but actually, hey, I will be able to replace that on the modem. That is very cool, or the Ethernet adapter. So I'm going to set those aside for now. We'll save that for a bit from now. And I'm just going to take this out. We'll set the lid to the side. Set the controller ports to the side. And there is the nice clear shell. So it's got kind of a opaqueness to it. And that is fine with me. Still looks nice in my opinion. Got to set this the right way. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop this heat shield down into place. And that sandwiches down nicely. Now we're going to go ahead and put the board back into place. Just making sure all the little heat pads are there. I'm going to kind of squish this back in. That way it has a little bit of contact. Okay, now move those in. Sandwich this down. This definitely, something is fitting tightly with this. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead, slide that in. There we go. It was not fitting very nicely before. Okay, so it took a little extra finessing. The little peg right here that helps hold it in place was not 100% accurate, so just had to bend it out of the way just ever so slightly. But there we go. Looks like everything is fitting nice and snug. Everything is lined up, and we're ready to start reassembling it. So we're going to go ahead and put that top shield back in place where it goes and start screwing everything back down. So we slide that right there, and all of this should just fall right into place. Famous last words. Okay. Oh, that little peg on the side is being difficult again. There we go. Got that lined up. Awesome. Everything is lined up and good to go. So now I just put all the screws back in reverse order. And these ones, it looks like they do go into plastic. However, this is a new shell, so there isn't really anything to back out because there is no threads yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and screw these right down in. Now, later parts of this mod series, I will need to go ahead and back up a little bit first and then dive in, because otherwise I will cross thread everything in this new shell, and that would be unfortunate. All right, let's get these ones in. There we go. Yeah, so everything is creating fresh new threads. So that also means it's going to have a nice tight fit too, which obviously you want it to actually stay in the console. So we'll get this one in now. And other than that one peg, everything has seemed to line up fairly nicely. So that is nice to see. And as far as retro consoles go, I mean, well, it's retro now. I remember when the Dreamcast first came out and it was very much state-of-the-art. But as far as consoles from this era go, this is actually very easy to work on. It's, as you saw with like the whole drive, it's really just one cable and a couple screws holding it in. Whereas if you work on something like a GameCube, it feels like that thing has over 200 screws to it. It's a ridiculous console to work on. But this one, while it has a lot of screws, they all go in very easy to spot locations, and I mean, they're not like a ton of different sizes. All right, one more. And then we can go ahead and add the disk drive back in, or the disk reader anyways. So I'm gonna make sure this cable is in place nicely. It is, those are all lined up. Okay, and we got to make sure that we get this clear controller port area in as well. Okay, so one thing to note, I kind of made an oopsie on it and had to unscrew some stuff, but in order to put the controller face in, you do have to put it down before this plate because it sandwiches over some pegs in there. So I did have to undo some stuff to get it to fit back in, but no big deal, only took me a minute. Alright, so now from there, what we're going to do is start adding everything else back in. So right here we have our drive. And we're going to go ahead and just line this up and sandwich it down where it goes. Right there, and smush. Alright, so something to note, definitely found another kind of tight spot. There is a peg, a guiding peg on the side right here. It was kind of preventing me from being able to plug the drive all the way down in. So that, again, took some finagling, just like the peg on the other side. But I was able to get it in. I didn't have to tweak it in such a way that it felt really uncomfy making it happen. So, you know, that's nice. But now we need to get the rest of these screws in. So this had 3 screws to it. So we're going to go ahead and put these 3 screws back where they go now. And again, this does not have threads yet, so I'm just diving right in and cutting new threads as I put the screws in. So the screws may be a little tighter the first time that you do this, just because it is cutting into the plastic to make it happen. These ones right here are metal screws, so nothing crazy to worry about on those. Those just go right back into place. And we got one more up here. And we get that all screwed in. Alright, now that those 3 are screwed in, we're going to go ahead and put the little fan back where it goes. And this just had 2 little lineup spots there. We're making sure it lines up nicely in the case. It's got a little guiding rail on the side here. So we're going to go ahead and put these screws back now. One goes right here. And then the other one goes right on the other side. Definitely the smallest screws of the bunch. Now we can go ahead and put this guy back in. This is the controller ports. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and plug this little side cable in first. I believe that is the power. And then I'm going to just kind of slide these into place, line them up with the controller ports. And once those are in place, now I can go ahead and line up the screws and get those going. So I'm going to start with an outside screw first, just to help kind of tack it down into place. There's no particular order that you need to do them in. I just like to do it this way. That way it's just kind of held in place while I deal with everything else. And we're going to get this one. Alright, now that that is all screwed in, we're going to go ahead and reattach this ribbon cable, because that's what sends the data over. And it is a pressure fit, so you just slam it right down in there and you're good to go. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and run the power switch again. So this one is just going to kind of route down in here. And it lines up with 2 little spots right here. There is no like guiding peg or anything like that. The guiding peg, I guess you could say, would be the actual screw holding it in. So we're going to go ahead and get those screwed in. Okay, so the power switch is back in. Now we're going to go ahead and throw down the little shield that was here. And this is the shield to protect the power supply from all the metal beneath it. We have that power switch cord just routed. And we're going to go ahead and sandwich this in. I believe it has a couple of little alignment pegs to just kind of help it go in, and then you have your actual power pins it's attaching to right down here. You just line those up. It's got all the little holes on the bottom. And then you sandwich this down right over the top, give it a push, and it snaps into the side right there. Our heat shield is in place, and now we can go ahead and plug this power cord back in. It only goes one way. It is a keyed Molex connector, so that is very nice. Now we're going to go ahead and screw in the 2 screws that hold that power board down. So we're going in right here. And then we got one more up in the other corner. Alright, so we have everything together there. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and put this lid back on. And looking at everything in the old lid, this actually comes with, it looks like everything but maybe this piece of foam. But I don't think that piece of foam is actually needed, and it will actually block part of that. So I don't really want that. I am just going to put this on exactly as is. So we're going to just slide that over the top. Let's see, test that. Door opens fine, hits the power button fine, awesome. So let's go ahead and flip this over, and we're going to get all of the screws back into the body now. So we'll just start in the corner, and we do still have the broadband adapter to actually turn clear. So that will be the final step before we put stickers on. All right, there's one corner screw. Let's get another one. And again, these are just the same Phillips screws. You just tighten them down into where they go, and you are good to go. I gotta kind of get a little bit more leverage on this. There we go. Just make sure there's no give in there. What's kind of nice about the clear one, you can actually see where it is. That makes assembly a little bit easier for sure. Okay, now we'll get the two on the other side. So we got one right here for this corner. That's going to go in right there. And you probably can't see it on the camera, but I can see it just fine. It is perfectly showing the screw holes right there, so I know exactly where it's lined up. I know exactly how much further it has to go. And I guess that's just a nice added benefit of the clear shell. All right, one more screw. That goes in right here. And this is the last corner. That's another thing that's kind of nice about the Dreamcast. It's only 4 screws to take the shell apart. That way you can actually get into the system. Alright, so got that last screw in, and I will say I've done a GDEMU mod before, and it is super easy to work on because you just take those 4 screws, pop the top shell off, swap the drive out, you're good to go. And I believe it even works, I think it works between a Saturn and a Dreamcast, so that's kind of cool. Now, before I show all of this, we're going to go ahead, set this to the side, and we're going to work on the little broadband adapter. So this, I believe, is just a couple of screws holding it in. So we're going to go ahead and undo these. Undo this other one. I'm really excited that they actually included that. I thought it would just be like a filler piece that they include. I'm glad to see that this company, Retro Cool Stuff, or Retro is Cool, if that's the real company name, they put a little extra effort into it. That's nice to see. Alright, let's get that shield out of the way. What is holding this thing in? Pressure. Pressure is holding it in. Okay, so that thing was super annoying to put into here. And I don't want to have to deal with that ever again. That was lame. So it's definitely supported in there, but wow, what a tight fit. Okay, let's go ahead and put these screws where they go. That way I never have to look at this thing again. Got the clear part on the adapter, and let's go ahead and sandwich this in, see if it fits nicely. I'm hoping that it does. Let's see here. And there we go. That snaps nicely into place. Alright, now the last thing to do is to put the sticker on. And they apparently included 2 of them. So we can go PAL and do blue, or we can go NTSC and do the orange. And obviously I'm going to do NTSC because that's where I'm at. This is not a PAL console. And, ooh, and it's a clear sticker. That's nice. So we're going to go ahead and slap that right down where it goes. Then we're going to peel off its little protective cover. And I'm hoping, if it all comes in time, I also want to do an LED kit on this thing. So, there we have it. That is a clear shell Dreamcast, including the little broadband adapter. So, that was a very nice touch. Very crispy button presses. I'm digging that. Nice slow close, slow open. Power button, extra crispy. That is very nice. And there you have it, everyone. We have freed this Dreamcast from its aging and yellowed plastic prison. And this is a super cool clear shell. Again, I will provide a link to this down in the description if you want to check it out. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that, but very cool. I believe I got this on eBay. And it was not that much. So, and they had a ton of different colors. Again, they had a clear purple, but it was out of stock. So maybe one day I will get the purple, you know, go with the theming of the channel. But this clear one is awesome. And if I'm able to get a proper LED kit for this, well, then I can just make it any color I want. But again, very nice touch. I really like that they had it so that you could add the broadband adapter in clear as well. That way I wasn't going to have an ugly white brick on the side. But awesome. The thing opens nice, closes nice, very nice, solid buttons. The whole controller port is also clear. So very cool, easy to do mod. Now, if you liked today's video, please let me know down in the comments below. Have you ever modded a Dreamcast or any other console? I would love to hear about it. And while you're down there, please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell. That way you can alert every time I got a new video coming out, including the other parts of this Dreamcast modding series. This is not a one-parter. There will be more parts to it, and I look forward to sharing those with you. And lastly, if you like what I do here and you are interested in helping support the channel each and every month, then please consider becoming a channel member or head on over to patreon.com/GameDadShow, where for as little as $1 a month, you get early ad-free access to all of my videos, including getting your name in the end credits of every one of my videos like the fine folks that you see above right now. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you later.